Hello, my name is Jeff Rolka. I want to thank you for checking out my video. I had a request asking for information about vocal health for people who have a fairly heavy performing schedule, but also use their voices a lot in their day-to-day, workaday, planet-side trip. And specifically, we're talking about people who use their voices to teach others musical crafts, like singing or stuff like that. So I'm going to dive right in and talk about some specifics. There's a couple really key takeaways, I think, that I have. Before I do, though, thank you if you've chosen to subscribe. If you haven't, I hope you will now. And YouTube's gotten rid of fan funding, and my channel depends upon the generous contributions that many of you have shared with me. And if you'd like more information about how to do that, you can check the description in this video or head over to jeffrolka.com, where you can also try out my AAA method. And the AAA method is totally free. So, first thing, and this is really anybody who's regularly singing or using their voices in that capacity, you should never be too far removed from good old Mr. Canteen or Mrs. Canteen, however you prefer. Doesn't have to be purple, but this literally goes everywhere with me. And you know, you can have just a plastic jug or whatever you like. It doesn't matter. Room temperature water is going to keep you healthy and is going to help keep your voice as clear of obstructions and keep your mucus nice and thin so it doesn't obstruct your phonation any more than it might normally. If you're using your voice a lot, you can expect that your voice is going to produce a little bit more mucus, particularly in the aftermath of really heavy days or heavy usage, as a means by which to help the vocal fold heal from day to day. The one other somewhat deleterious consequence of drinking all that water is that you have to be a little bit strategic about how you're taking it in. So if you're about to head into an hour and a half or 2 hour session where you know you can't leave the room, maybe pace yourself. Otherwise, you may get very uncomfortable with a different kind of urge. And yes, I'm talking about going to the loo. So there you go. Another thing is, and this is something you'll see me do, you'll notice I have a little microphone right here. Of course, I do that so that our conversations here on YouTube sound very immediate and close. But I use this kind of a microphone or an area mic when I'm teaching online as well. And it's not just for sound quality. It is because knowing that the mic is there helps me talk at a more reasonable volume. I can watch on meters and know that my voice is going through the system at a very adequate level, and that helps me to pace myself and not to talk too loud. Talking too loud is often a pitfall that we fall into. And when we do that, we are usually not engaging and supporting our voices very well. This can really wear us down and can really make it difficult when we show up for our evening 2.5 hour club date that we have to play and sing at. So if you're in a classroom, you're probably not going to use a microphone. That's not as appropriate. But if you're teaching online a lot or you're having a lot of conversations via the phone, use an external microphone of some kind if you can. I think it will really help you to mitigate the kind of volume that you're using with your voice and help preserve your voice over the long haul. Now, getting a little bit more specifically into teachers of singing, I do something, and you'll see me do it in the videos quite frequently, and if you were here in the room with me, you would see me do it as well. When I'm going to demonstrate something, I will insert a pause in between when I am talking to you and then when I sing my example. It's not just so that I do a good job with the example. It is so that I get my mind around the concept of I am about to sing now, I am no longer just talking. And in that moment, I'm expanding, I'm engaging, I'm very consciously walking myself through the preparations to make sure that I'm going to use my voice in an efficient and a sustainable way, which isn't always the way we're talking. Now, with singers of teaching, I would also suggest to you that you consider carefully how frequently you demonstrate things incorrectly. Demonstrating things incorrectly can be an incredibly effective and important learning tool for our clients. So if someone is saying that they don't understand what alignment is, then I might sing E-A-O, where I'm purposely going way out of alignment with my voice, and then demonstrate again. E-A-O, so that they have the A and the B comparison. Be careful with how much you demonstrate things incorrectly, particularly if you're in the zona de passaggio or above the secondo passaggio, where vocal fatigue and some amount of vocal strain may be necessary to demonstrate things incorrectly. For my part, I avoid that as much as I possibly can, though I can't avoid it at all times. But that will really tire you out. The bigger picture aspect of that, though, is that you are effectively reinforcing old bad habits or incorrect ways of using your voice. And it's important to put a little bit of separation between your teaching and when you are performing. So even if you've been teaching all day and you're feeling warm and hot and you're ready to sing, I would highly recommend you do a nice gentle warm-up anyway, just to get your alignment settled in, get your body settled in, and get into the game of using your voice in a purely efficient and effective manner for your gig. You may have to spend a little bit more time warming up even though you've been singing all day. Because if you've been using vowels that are out of alignment or demonstrating what it is to strain in the upper register or pushing when you're down in the bottom of your range, those can have a lasting impact, and it's important to reset our phonation, reset our singing so that we're back using our voices effectively. And the big picture item in all of this is to know thyself. I know that in a lesson, whether it's online or in person, I demonstrate things very frequently incorrectly in order to try to help whomever I'm working with understand what the differences are so they can hear it firsthand in order to do it correctly and see the benefits firsthand of why we want to do it correctly. I have to take that into consideration if I'm not really feeling 100%, like if I have a little sniffle or it's been a weather change and my voice is a bit off, or if I didn't get enough rest, or any number of other things that can compromise my voice. I have to consider that very carefully and be very strategic when I deploy those incorrect examples to show them the differences. I would suggest to you that knowing your voice and knowing your tendencies, knowing your habits that are both good and those that still need some work, knowing them can help you plan carefully so that you're not reinforcing your pitfalls any more than is absolutely necessary to get your point across. And conversely, you can be showing things in the most effective manner for whomever you are working with. It's really, really important that we as teachers, whether we're singing teachers or whatever we happen to be teaching, we stay healthy too so that we can keep on doing what we do and keep on teaching as well as performing and recording and whatever else. I do hope that helps. This is part of my vocal health series. Lots of the warm-ups on the YouTube channel are applicable to this. I would highly recommend you start with something that does not have full range in the title if you're doing like a vocal reset before you're going to start singing. That will stay comfortably below your secondo passaggio for whatever Fach you may be. And then you can move on to a full range exercise if your repertoire requires it. As always, my name is Jeff, and I thank you again for checking out my video. Take really good care of your voices, enjoy singing, and hopefully we'll see you again. Bye.